Hello friends and welcome back to another vlog. Happy Sunday. We are not doing anything today, so I went ahead and put my costume on and I'm going to make some TikToks and film Splendies for October. This lighting though, it's a rainy, gloomy rainy day outside, so my outdoor lighting is not good. This is like too bright. I don't think I like having it in the background, but we're going to make it work. This wig, very clearly a cheap wig from Shein. I think it was like $11. And I put a little clothes pin right here to try to make it work. Keep this from, because it was like sticking straight out. But I am Jessica Rabbit for today's costume. For Friday, I have something else planned. So I've got the wig. I got to play around with makeup and listen, I am rusty. I used to be able to do colorful makeup and it would come out so good. It's been a while. I am rusty, but I did get to break out some old palettes. How exciting. So I used the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. This is why I don't get rid of these. I use them once a year. I literally use them just for Halloween, but I used two purples, Therapy Sesh and Not My Journey. I don't even think you can buy these anymore. And then Morphe, the 35S Sweet Oasis. I used Vineyard Escape. And then up to like help blending, I used this Al Fresco. It's kind of like just a sparkly peachy color. So got to break out some palettes. That was fun. And it's fun to play with makeup and not have anything to do afterwards. I feel like when I'm getting ready and I actually have to see people, like doing my makeup becomes a chore. But on days like today when I can just do it and have fun, it's like fun and relaxing. And I love that and I miss that. I feel like I need to do that more often. Anyways, let me adjust the camera. Okay, not the best angle, but here's the dress. We've got the sparkly red dress. This is from Something Cute. I wore it a while ago. Gloves from Shein, wig from Shein. Then I just put on some red heels because she wears some pointed toe heels in the movie. None of my kids know who I am. I had my husband put on some bunny ears from Easter. I dug them out of our Easter decor for a couple photos. My kids have no clue what's going on, so I feel like I need to make them watch that movie sometime soon. I don't know if we'll watch it today, but sometime soon. We gotta watch the Roger Rabbit movie. And then I am also drink of the day, Alani. My husband went and got me this one, and it just so happened to be one that matches the costume with the red and the purple, so that's kind of cute. This is the cherry slush, but I'm going to film Splendies. And I gotta figure out something with this lighting because it's not working out for me. I don't like it. But hello, welcome back to another vlog. Happy Halloween. You're probably watching this after Halloween, and I will check in soon. All right, friends, it's a little later, but we also woke up to this on our front porch this morning. We were booed, and so here's the instructions. I always see people talking about this online, but we've never had it happen to us before, so I'm so excited. I don't know like anyone in this neighborhood. This is my thing, is I will be doing someone else's house, but I'm like, I don't know who has kids. I don't know how many kids people have, and so like I'm worried about not putting enough like treats and stuff inside. But it looks like we got some glow sticks. I'm gonna let the kids open it. We are going to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I hope it holds their attention. I think my oldest will like it. I don't know about the girls. Anyways, so we're gonna open this and have these snacks during the movie. But some lollipops, some Reese's, animal crackers. How big and sweet is that? Some mini cookies. And just look how cute. Oh my goodness. So I will be making a trip to Dollar Tree this week to put together our own little boo basket. I think I might even use that bag from the little candy gift thing that I ordered for my kids. I would totally order another one and put that on someone's front porch, but it will not be here before Halloween. I should have ordered two, but I didn't know that people are gonna be doing this in my neighborhood. That's so exciting. So I'm so excited to just make one to give to somebody else, and the kids are so excited about this. So whoever put this on our front porch, thank you. It made my kids' day. They've been asking all morning to dig into it. And we are finally going to and watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I am out of my costume now, so we're just having a chill afternoon. Okay, I just opened it up, but there's even more. Look, a little pumpkin that says boo. How cute. Reese's lollipops, glow sticks, 5 pieces, perfect because I have 4 kids. See, that's what I'm worried about. Like what if I put something in someone else's bag and they don't have it, there's not enough for all of their kids or something, you know what I mean? Because I don't really know anyone near us. Animal crackers, mini Chips Ahoy. So I will definitely be making a trip to Dollar Tree. Oh my gosh, that's so freaking sweet. So like I said, it comes with 2 of these. You put one on your front door to show other people that you already got a basket. And then you make a copy of this one, give 2 to the next person. And then here's the instructions, and so cute. Totally made my kids' day, and I'm so excited to make one for somebody else. All right, friends, I just wanted to do a little bedroom decor update. I moved these picture frames over here above my dresser. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I put them a little too high, but I was afraid if I put them too low, it was going to look crowded. But now I'm like, that looks a little too high. I don't know. I think I'm not going to change it right away though. I'll leave it there for a few days and see how much it's bothering me. But I had it over here on this wall above my husband's dresser. It's a mess over here. But I felt like it was just too small for this wall. Like there was still too much wall left over after putting it up. So I ordered this off Amazon. I've actually had it in my cart for a long time, and it was originally like almost 60 bucks. And suddenly it went down to $26, and I bought it immediately when I saw that the price decreased so much. Like, it was over half off. So I'll put it in my storefront, and if it's not on sale, maybe just wait a little bit and eventually it will go on sale. And then what else? My husband surprised me with pumpkin spice latte today. This is empty. I already finished it. And you know what? It is not as good as I remember it. First pumpkin spice of the year, and you know, I think I've gotten to the point where coffee tastes better when I make it at home. And the trick to making it at home is like using real sugars, real syrups, heavy cream, like make a cold foam or whipped cream with heavy cream, homemade. For a really long time I would make coffee at home and I was like, why does this not taste as good as a coffee shop? So it was disappointing today. And then I also got this for free from TikTok Shop. These are EHP Labs Oxy Shred. So I got them for free for review. And on the thing, it said it was a pre-workout gummy. I'm gonna have my husband look at the ingredients because whenever it comes to things like this, I am always a little skeptical. And he's just more knowledgeable about stuff like this than I am, about like ingredients when it comes to workout supplements. But I love the idea of a pre-workout gummy to get you ready for your workout, but the fact that it says Oxy Shred makes me a little hesitant. Does it mean shred as in like you're about to shred your workout, or is it like a weight loss supplement? Because I don't want that. I really just wanted like pre-workout in a gummy form. I was like, that seems like so much better than drinking a drink. And those pre-workout drinks, like, let's be honest, they're not very good. Even the good ones are not very good. So yeah, I will update on like what he says about this, but it says consume 2 to 4 per day, no artificial flavors, dyes, or aspartame. / Ace K. I don't know what Ace K is. See, this is why I need to have him read it. It says energy and metabolism support with green coffee bean extract. And it has kidney bean extract. I don't know. So I'll have him look at that and I'll update y'all. And my room is such a mess right now. I mean, y'all can see right here just from this little corner. But I'm going to clean it up and maybe I'll show y'all what it looks like later because I feel like it's just so cozy. You know, it's very like rustic in here and I love it. I think it's my favorite room in the house. Anyways, that is it for now. Hello friends, good morning, good morning. I also made 2 loaves of bread last night just in a bread pan, but I don't know what it is. Same thing happened last time I made bread. It's like not rising as much as it should. I don't know if it's like the humidity here or what, but here is the bread for the week. Hello friends. I just did probably the biggest Walmart grocery pickup I've ever done, or like one of the biggest. I'm going to share this fun stuff now, and then I'm going to share other stuff in other videos because a lot of it was for my daughter's birthday, which I'll share in another video. And then I also got stuff for like Thanksgiving donation boxes, which I'm still not sure if I want to share it or not. I'll get into that in a second, but here are a few of the fun things. I got some Milani's. I also need to do a Dollar Tree run still because I still need to do boo baskets, but I was thinking for one of my neighbors, they don't have kids, so putting a couple of these Alani's in their boo basket. But I already cracked one open literally as soon as I got home. Before I got any groceries out, I threw one in the freezer so I could drink it right away. So this is nice and cold. And then I got this. Halloween is on in 2 days, on Friday. And so I got this to try. I've heard good things about this Nut Pods creamer, but I've never tried it before. But it looks like they have some really fun flavors. But we're gonna try gingerbread latte. And then I just wanted to share this. I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but this is the best thing ever for stains. Not sponsored or anything. I just wanted to share it. Like if you have a hard time getting stains out of your kids' clothes, this is the best thing ever. My dad was visiting one time and I shared it with him, and now he has added it to his like shopping routine. Like he purchases it and repurchases it when it runs out because it really does truly work so well. So just wanted to share that. I was about to put it away and I was like, wait, let me just share that in case, other people are having a hard time getting stains out of their kids' clothes. But this is the fun stuff I can share for now. Dinners this week, my husband is making a seafood Cajun pasta. But honestly, that always, every time he makes that, there's always so many leftovers that like I might not be making my meal till next week. But I have a white chicken chili recipe that I'm gonna make. And I saw that recipe on Facebook. So I'm gonna make that, honestly, probably Sunday, maybe even later than that, because we are gonna celebrate my daughter's birthday this weekend. So it might even be, later next week. But we've got the stuff for it regardless. Those are the 2 dinners we have planned. Right here, I started going on a little tangent about how we plan our dinners, but I'm pretty sure I've shared that before. So I'm gonna go on to the next clip. Okay, friends, so for boo baskets, I'm going to use this from that candy thing that I got my kids last week. And then I'm just going to reuse that same basket. So I know my immediate neighbors don't have kids, so I'm going to use this one for them. And then this one is for, there's a couple in the neighborhood that have at least one kid. They have at least a baby. I feel like such a creep. Like I'm like driving past their houses trying to see if they have a ghost on their door already. But anyways, I just so happen to have this. I've shared it before. I got it for free from Influencer. I might have to put the basket like on top of this. I got it for free from Influencer. I was going to save it for my nephew, but we can get him something else, and I'm going to put it in here with the basket. Maybe I'll just put it behind it like that. Then for both baskets, I don't know how I'm going to do it, if I'm going to keep them in the boxes or not, but we've got some popcorn for both. Some hot cocoa for both. Again, I don't know if I'll take it out. That looks really cute, actually. Hot cocoa for both. Since this one's a kid, I thought, I don't know how old the baby is. I just know I've seen him out with a stroller. So these, I might take these out and just kind of scatter them around. Same with these, might take them out of the bag, kind of scatter them around. Got them both Kit Kats and both Reese's. Yeah, for this, I'm definitely gonna have to take them out. Because I was also thinking of putting, and I probably will put a couple of Alani's in this one. Airheads for this one. And that's everything. I'll film actually putting them together and post it on YouTube Shorts. That's probably already up. But yeah, since like I'm putting a toy in that one, I was gonna put a couple of Alani's in this one. But that is what I got for boo baskets for our neighbors, and I still need to make copies of the signs, but I'm gonna do that now and put them together. Okay, friends, here is the end result. I've got the papers and the instructions here. This one I put the toy like in kind of like the back of the bag because it wouldn't fit in there. And then I just left everything in the bags except this one. I took the popcorn out and kind of stuck it back there. I put 2 Alani's in there, like I said. It's not as cute as that one, but there's the 2 Boo Baskets that we put together. And I'm going to have the kids drop them off and ding dong ditch this evening. But there's a little update. These are fun to make. And yeah, I will check in soon. Also, hello, bedroom's still a mess, but I'm really loving my outfit today. Just denim, black skirt, some like cheetah print flats. Bedroom's still a mess. I put those down there after filming. Book, water, purse, and I'm about to go pick up the girls. We always get to parent pick up a little early, so I usually have like 15-20 minutes to read before they get out. But outfit of the day. Here is also the seafood Cajun pasta my husband made with just shrimp and sausage this time. It came out so good. It's a little bit spicy, so my youngest don't eat it, but my older kids, my husband and I love it. Hello friends and happy Halloween. I'm gonna share with you my outfit really quick, and then later I'll do books I read in October because I don't have enough time and I have to go get my kids from school. But headband and some white, I don't know what kind of earrings people wore in the 60s. Everything that I was looking like when I looked it up, they were all like big round earrings, and I didn't have anything like that, so I just wanted some white ones to match the costume. I did like a dark winged eyeliner, some kind of like winged out orange eyeshadow, kind of like did a side part and slicked right here back, and then I also did like some white liner underneath. Then here's the dress. It's from Retro Stage. Oh, also my hair, I just kind of like curled to the very ends. Dress is from Retro Stage, but it is kind of a longer dress. It goes beneath my knees and it was looking kind of awkward, so I did kind of like bunch it up and pin it in the back to make it just a little shorter. And then here's the socks with the big heels, and these heels, I know they're heels, they're so easy to walk around in. I was thinking of switching to sneakers for just trick-or-treating, taking my kids trick-or-treating. But I don't know, because these are honestly kind of easy to walk around in. If I switch to sneakers, it'll just be because I'm worried about like other parents judging me. But that is today's costume. I will check in soon, like I said, to do books I read in October, but we are all ready to go. Well, I am ready to go. When my kids get home from school, I'll get them ready, but I'll see y'all in a bit. Okay, friends, I am back. It's actually a couple hours later because got the kids home and then they all went crazy. Just crazy. I feel like we need naps before we go trick-or-treating. But as promised, I have books that I read in October. I read 8, maybe 9 books. I haven't decided if I want to count one book in my list. As I mentioned last month, I've been rereading a few favorites, and so I finished up the Crossfire series. I read the last 2 books this month. This was a series that was my favorite, one of my favorites in college, and I really, really enjoyed it, rereading them. I feel like rereading all of my old favorites have really brought me, not even just like out of my book slump, but I feel like I kind of got to a point for a while there where I was reading books as fast as I could because I wanted to get like as many as possible in like my book roundup lists. And it got to the point where like I was not enjoying reading because I was trying to rush through it. Whereas rereading these favorites, it kind of like reset me and I was able to take it slow, read them at my own leisure. I wasn't like rushing to get them done just to put them on my list. So I really loved revisiting old favorites. That being said, so the Crossfire series is 5 books. The first 3 books are the best books. And the reason is the first 3 books are just from the woman Eva's perspective. The last 2 books, they add in the perspective from her man, from Gideon. And I don't care to see his perspective. I don't love books that go back and forth between his and her. I would much prefer a one-person point of view. I don't care for the dual point of view. And I feel like when you see his point of view, it just like, it kind of takes away from the drama. And that's what makes these books so good, is that there's so much drama. And in the first 3 books, you are solely in her head. So when she starts overthinking, when she starts having anxiety about things, you are only seeing that. Whereas once you bring in his point of view, you see her anxiety, and then the next chapter, it's immediately like fixed for us readers, because then we see his point of view, and then we see that like, oh, whatever's going on is not what she thinks is going on. And I much preferred the build up and seeing it from how things turn out from her perspective only. And I just felt like the last two books, because it suddenly adds in his point of view, it just changes the whole tone of the story. Okay, and then I also I have started rereading 50 Shades of Grey. So I got through the first two books this month, 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker. I also watched both of those movies. I don't care for the movies. Like, the movies are just straight up porn. And I don't know, I don't care to watch them. And also reading these directly after the Crossfire series, they are just not as well written as the Crossfire series. I had a hard time jumping into it. I especially had a hard time going from like Crossfire series. I feel like I really identify with the main character of the Crossfire series. And she's very driven, she's very confident. And then to go to 50 Shades of Grey, where Anastasia is not confident, and also the books are just like less well written. I was like, I don't relate to these books as well. That being said, the drama pulls you in. Like, it only took a few chapters of me being like, I can't stand the way these are written, for it to pull me in. They're also, and I don't know if I realized this when I was younger and the first time I read them in college, it's also very obvious that they are written by a British woman writing about American characters in Seattle. Because just like some of the words and phrases and stuff she uses, and some of the like pop culture references, I'm like, that's not big. Like, music specifically, I was like, that was never that big in America, especially like in the early 2010s, like when these books were written. Like, I was in college then, I was about the same age. I was like a year or two younger than Anastasia is in the books, and it was just not big here. And so it's just like, it's very obvious that they're written by someone who's not American. Those are kind of my complaints with that though. That being said, it brings the drama. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you, like, you want to keep on reading because of the drama. And honestly, by the time I got to the second book, I was almost feeling like there's too much sex in this book. Like, move along, get back to the story. A little, and this is coming from me, who most of the books I read are smut or romantasy with smut. There was too much. Let's move along. Let's get to the drama. You can turn a few of those scenes into fade to black scenes. I feel like I had so much more to say about 50 Shades, because it very also, especially coming from the Crossfire series, it's also very problematic. Very like not healthy relationship dynamics, but I also kind of feel like it fuels the drama and makes it a more interesting read. Okay, and then this entire month was just totally full of rereads, because I re-listened to Book of Night. The first time I read it on Kindle Unlimited on my phone, like digitally. This time I listened to the audiobook, and it was so good. It's just as good the second time around. And like, this is just one of those books that has the absolute best twist at the end, and I love it so much. So 5 stars, 10 out of 10 read. If I recommend any book this month, it is Book of Night by Holly Black. It is so good, and I don't want to get too much into it because I really don't want to like accidentally spoil anything, because it has one of the best endings to a book ever. Like one of the best twists to a book ever. And then Thief of Night just came out, so I also listened to that audiobook, and I did not like it as much. And I think a big reason I didn't like it as much is because like the twist has already happened, and this is kind of like what takes place after. We have like this big reveal. It was still really good. I'd still give it 5 out of 5 stars. I just didn't love it as much as I loved the first one. Like, the first one was just so surprising, I guess. I don't know, but I still enjoyed this one. If she ever came out with a third book, and I feel like she did kind of wrap this one up, like it's done, it's a duet. But if she ever did come out with a third book, I would read it. Okay, and then I also listened to Fahrenheit 451. I kind of have like this little personal goal of mine to reread a lot of the books that are getting banned, specifically books that were like on reading lists when I was in high school, like books that we were assigned to read in high school. Because let me make it very clear, I do not agree with a book ban for schools and libraries, with the exception of like if it is very like explicitly sexual in nature. So like 50 Shades, if they're banning 50 Shades from high schools, yes, of course, ban that. But if it's something that you are learning from that is part of a curriculum, absolutely not. I think it's very alarming that certain books are being banned. So I started with Fahrenheit 451 because it is specifically about a book ban, a world where books are banned. And I think this book in particular, like no matter where you fall politically, I think everyone should read it. I think everyone's going to relate to it because books that would support either side politically, all getting burned. Like that is the whole point of the story, is it is illegal to own books. So I thought that was a fitting start. I also want to read Animal Farm and what's the other George Orwell book? Well, those two are next on my list because I want to read a few books that were assigned in high school that I have read before, but I feel like, first of all, it's more enjoyable to read them now as an adult when I'm not being graded on it, when it's not for an assignment or for a test or part as a curriculum. They're just more enjoyable, but I also feel like they're important reads. And also if we ever get to the point that they are banned, that they are more difficult to find, more difficult to buy, I want to have already read them. And I think a lot of them are just like important to have read. They're important books to read. I think they're important for high schoolers to read. And so I'm gonna reread them. Not all back to back to back, but just like in times like this where if I don't know what my next read is, I'll read one of those. Okay, anyways. And then my kids and I watched Coraline for our last movie night, and I remember it was one of my sister's favorite books when she was a kid. I never read the book, so I listened to the audiobook. It's very, very different from the book or from the movie. And this is and it was good, but I feel like this is one of the rare cases where I will say I enjoyed the movie better than the book. I feel like the changes that they made in the movie were really good. I feel like the changes they made for the movie really added to the story. Plus, like visually, it's just a beautiful movie. So I liked the book, didn't love it. And like I said, it was very different from the movie. And then the last book that I wasn't sure if I was going to share is my son and I have been reading Bendy and the Ink Machine. I read to all of my kids every night. I read like picture books to my two youngest. And then my 8-year-old and I will read a shorter chapter book, usually like Judy Moody. That's what we've been doing lately. And then my oldest and I will read a book that he picks. And I don't usually include my two oldest's chapter books in my like book roundup, just because they're not usually books that I'm like interested in. I'm reading them with my kids for my kids, but also they're children's books. But that being said, I read Coraline this month and that's a children's book. And so I put it on my list. So I'm debating putting this on my list or not. It's Bendy and the Ink Machine. I loved this one. My son got this at Scholastic Book Fair last year. We finally read it together. It was so good. I know nothing about the video game. I know nothing about the lore other than like what my son told me while we were reading the book. I really, really enjoyed it though. If you like spooky kind of like sinister type of books, but they're not too scary, this is a good one. Or if you have like young teenagers, I would say like middle school age, this is good. It's a good book for them. Like kind of creepy without being like overly scary. I think I will put that on my book roundup because I enjoyed that one more than I enjoyed Coraline. I might have liked Coraline more if I hadn't watched the movie like just the day before I started it. So like the movie was very fresh in my mind, but it wasn't as good as the movie, I thought. Anyways, that is it for this month's book roundup. 9 books in total, counting the book my son and I read. But that's going to be it for today's video and today's vlog. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all had a fabulous Halloween, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, friends.